Right.
Hello.
Hello. The 11 o'clock show. I suppose is that what made you, if that's the right expression?
Yeah, I guess so. Yes, you know, it was the first thing I'd done on TV. It was very popular, very successful, and
very rude.
It was filthy. Yeah, we had terrible language on there. Yes, but that, you know, there's a time and a place for it, I suppose.
And I suppose 11 o'clock is the people come back from the pub.
11 o'clock, Channel 4. Anyone who's watching that is boozed up.
Anyone? Pretty
much anyone, apart from my mum. My mum used to watch it. She would tell me off the next day if I'd been too rude or naughty.
She must have been telling you off quite a lot.
Yeah, she did. Bless her.
Yeah. What happened to allow that to change television comedy in that way? Because until relatively recently, it was fairly gentle.
Well, you know, I'm kind of ashamed to admit it, but part of the remit from Channel 4 was to be a little bit shocking. You know, it was supposed to be a funny show, but also in the instructions was, yeah, make it slightly controversial so we get press, and make it slightly shocking so that people talk about it. And it's a shame that that was part of the instruction. I think towards the end, excuse me, it veered towards that side of it a little bit too much, and the humour got forgotten a little bit. But, you know, hey, sometimes swearing is funny. You know, they say it's not big and it's not clever. Sometimes it is.
Yeah, but not all the time.
Not all the time, no. So, sometimes it's lazy and it's overused.
And isn't it cleverer to be able to do the comic stuff and to make people laugh without swearing? Doesn't that require an even greater skill?
No.
No?
Yeah, it possibly does. You know, there's horses for courses. You look at Peter Cook and Dudley Moore, Pete and Dud, fantastic, you know, quite wholesome, slightly surreal. Then you go to Derek and Clive, the filthiest thing you've ever heard in your life. You know, the sketch The Worst Job in the World, which I won't go into now, but...
Probably wise.
Yes, exactly. You know, it's quite shocking even in 2006, but it's still funny and it's still clever. You know, it's... ups and downs.
But it would be impossible now, wouldn't it, to see somebody like Morecambe and Wise, for instance, come back and people...
Well, yeah, they're dead, I think. That would prohibit it slightly.
It would be extremely... I did say somebody like Morecambe and Wise to come back. I mean, we'll never go back to that sort of gentle humour, will we?
Well, I think you will. It comes around and goes around. You know, Vic and Bob were doing, you know, it's a cliche to compare them to Morecambe and Wise, and again, it's a little bit lazy. But they did that kind of slightly surreal double act, and they don't swear. You know, it's funny to adults and it's funny to kids. I think they always kind of go hand in hand, you know. And again, Gervais is taking it back to the slightly cleverer, slightly wordier. You know, it's...
yeah, because he was one of the 11 o'clock show, Ricky Gervais.
He was the least popular person on the 11 o'clock show. We had to fight to keep him on, and then suddenly he becomes the funniest man in the world and a multi-millionaire.
Yes.
But where is he now? He's in Hollywood. I'm on Celebrity Mastermind.
Well, there we are. You got the better end of the deal.
I think I did. Yeah.
Absolutely, you did. Who else? There was Ali G. He was.
Ali G was in
graduate of the 11 o'clock show.
Yeah, Mackenzie Crook was in The Office as well, and is in Pirates of the Caribbean and lives around the corner from me. Was on there. So it was kind of, you know, a great breeding ground for lots of new people. Lots of writers that worked on that show have gone off and, you know, and done other bits and pieces and been very successful.
So why does a show like that get killed off when it appears to be doing very well?
Oh, well, the politics of it were quite boring. What TV companies do is, if something's going very well, after 3 series, they halve the budget and get rid of all the writers and producers and bring in some new people. And I just think the new people they brought in, it was a different sense of humour, a different kind of humour. I think it had a shelf life. You know, there's only so long you could have me and Daisy going out on the street and winding people up before we got recognised, and only so long we could poke fun at the people we were poking at before maybe, you know, we did run out of jokes and it did become a little bit nastier than perhaps it should have been.
What has to happen for somebody like you? Because you did a bit of stand-up comedy, didn't you? And
I did, yes.
Done a bit of everything, really.
Yeah.
What has to happen for you suddenly to become a star? I mean, given that you got the natural talent and all that, I mean...
Well, it's just, you know, it's just luck. I got the 11 o'clock show...
Is it just luck?
Yeah, it's mainly luck. I got the 11 o'clock show, I was doing stand-up, I've been doing it for years, various little bits and pieces. The career was going nowhere, and I had auditions for lots of shows and things like that. Nothing was happening. And I was about to go and get a real job, because I was skint, I was having to move back to my mum's because I was broke, I owed money left, right and centre. I was going to get a real job, and this audition came through for the 11 o'clock show, and it was like, I'll have a go, But next week I've got, you know, I start a proper job with a real salary and stuff like that, and that'll be fine. And it was depressing, but you have to accept responsibility. And then I got it, and I think it was that slightly, I'm not going to get this attitude that got it. You know, I wasn't overly keen. But, you know, there's also years of hard work and talent. I don't know.
Naturally.
I don't know, of course.
But of course, yes.
Of course.
Obviously, years of work and
Yes.
talent and,
Yes.
and all of that. And what's next for you? I mean, what do you do? What do you want to do?
I'm doing a radio show at the moment on LBC, which is going very well. It's not a music
We'll edit
show.
that out, obviously.
Yeah, of
because
course,
that's
of course.
LBC.
LBC, we've lost, what, 300,000 listeners, I think, this last quarter? It's nothing to do with me.
Is that all?
Yeah, is that all? Yeah, you know, who knows what's next? Whatever is... I can only do stuff if I'm enjoying it. So again, it's a bit of a cliche, but if I'm not enjoying it, I don't really want to do it. So, you know...
Do you enjoy stand-up? It's always struck me that stand-up comedians have to work harder than anybody and have the most dangerous lives.
Well, it's not as dangerous as, I don't know, being a soldier in Iraq. But...
I'll grant you that.
It is... no, it's hideous. And I haven't done stand-up for a few years, and I kind of put my toe in the water recently and had a go. And then I remembered why I stopped doing it. It's because it's terrifying, you know. And you know, the worst that happens is you stand there for 20 minutes and no one laughs. You can live with that. But you then, because of that, you then get all this self-doubt. Or people hate me. Or, you know, I've got no reason. You just... Stand-up comics are mental, you know. There's no denying it. There's something not quite right in the head to be able to do that for a way of life, I think.
You could argue they were the greatest. They're the top of the tree, couldn't you? I mean, in terms of the comedy
at
structure.
At its purest, you know, the stand-up comedian is the greatest, you know, not relying on anything. Yeah, funny camera angles, you know, yeah, there are some, you know, Bill Hicks, of course, Andy Kaufman, people like that are geniuses, and they make it an art form. But you go to, you know, any comedy club in London, there's a lot of rubbish.